All right, welcome to the video. Anthony Special here with Hawkeye Traders. Hope everyone's having a phenomenal day. Want to talk about Bitcoin, right? We got cryptocurrencies in the news, making some all-time new highs. I want to talk about this top here in formation. And guys, this does not necessarily mean that Bitcoin cannot go higher. So, like any well-provided analysis, it's two-sided, right? What are the risks? What are the rewards in both directions? That's what true analysis is. Okay, it's not just some young gun coming on YouTube calling some obnoxious number. Okay, it's not a guess. It's a systematic approach to understanding the relationship between volume and price action, being able to determine if there's opportunity or risk and what that looks like. So I want to, in this video, tell you what I'm interpreting via both the price action and the volume. I want to talk about what the potential upside could look like. And then I want to also take into account what the potential, at least near-term downside could look like. So that's what we're going to break down here in this video. But very specifically, I want to start off with looking at the volume below. Okay, so this is a daily chart of the Bitcoin futures. Notice this high right here, okay, was very, let's see if I can, my big head's covering a lot of the tools down here, but I want you to take a look very specifically at this big high. So I'm going to put an exclamation point right there. And now I want you to notice that this high was made on significantly lower volume than the day before. Okay, so we make a strong attempt 2 days in a row, rising buying volume, and then we place a high with lower than prior volume as we approach these all-time highs. What does that tell me very specifically? It very specifically tells me, hey, there is or should be a great amount of caution exercised here on this push because there's lack of buying interest as we get here to this high. Now, what is that called, right? It means the buyers are being absorbed by the sellers, and the sellers ultimately reign control here, or the buyers have gotten to and reached a point where they see it as, hey, we no longer find value in driving price action higher. So very specifically, this candle stands out to me for those two reasons. We do make a higher high. We do break the two prior day candles. We do close above them, and we do place a wick higher than them, yet we do it on substantially lower volume, which is identified down here, okay, right here. Substantially lower volume created this high. That, for me, is an immediate concern. When I see a significant high or low placed on much lower volume than anticipated, it is extraordinarily concerning. Okay, it tells me that there's exhaustion or absorption in the market, that the buyers are becoming exhausted or they're being absorbed by the sellers. One or the other. You'd have to take a deeper dive to have complete understanding, but this is all you need, right? Like, all you actually need to do is understand the relationship of what's happening on the chart with the volume printing below. And that big red warning for me, okay? So then we take this sell-off here, right? We come in, we take this really steep sell-off here, and what happens? Boom. In this candle, we get very strong buying volume. But what happens after that? Notice that we don't make any advancement higher on decreasing buying interest, right? So strong buying volume here, stronger than here. We don't make a new high. We fail to make a new high, and then we fail to experience any follow through. In fact, you can see that the volume did slightly increase in this candle before absolute failure stepped in the following day. Extraordinarily weak sign, guys, right? That is not a strong sign. That's a super weak sign. That's telling me that there's a big divergence here between this attempt to push higher and what the volume is telling me below. Once again, right, we do recover this area here, and even on newly appointed buying volume, we just barely attack these lower highs off of this previous high. So notice that understanding the lack of continuation in price action paired with the lack of buying interest in the print below can tell you that we are in a period where price may not go higher, okay? Or we may be forming a very strong top. Now, I did promise you I would give you a couple different scenarios here, and I do very well intend to do that so that you have some analysis to work with. From my perspective here, here's what I see on this low, okay? I see that we have come in very aggressively and taken a fairly strong push or higher lows to the upside. Now, I also see this, which is even more concerning, right? We have failed to retake these highs, okay? So this entire area here is an area of now supply or resistance. So we come in, we fail. We pull back, we place a higher low, yet we fail to close above these prior highs. What is that telling me? Buyers are lacking interest here. Notice we have not had any newly appointed large buying candles coming in. In fact, the only thing that we've seen is a newly appointed standalone, very strong selling candle. And notice that this selling candle here is in fact stronger than this prior selling candle here as it breaks this upward trend line. Now you're going to go, okay, without getting too technical or too fancy, where do we think price could likely come in and find some layer of support? And that would be probably right down here in this vicinity, okay? We could bump it down a little bit, make it kind of a wide range, but in all fairness, my initial downside target would be looking something like this, okay? So here's our big push up. Here's our failure to continue higher, okay? And now we're looking here for a push to the downside. So, if you want to include these little wicks here up top, you can. Really however you desire to do your analysis is totally up to you. Here you can include this little intermediate candle as well, but here's where the consolidative state really transpired. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading sessions before we ended up pushing higher. So for me, downside target for Bitcoin, okay, 53,350, right? And if we're able to overtake this area, that would set the stage to see if we are able to sustainably overtake this high. This to me is a drawn out topping pattern with the lack of buying interest able to overtake whatever exhaustion or absorption is occurring within this area. How do I understand all these things? Well, it's pretty simple, okay? At Hawkeye Traders, not only do we offer you the indicators that you see here on my chart and many more with whatever package you decide to get involved in, but we teach you how to interpret and pair both volume with price action inside of our training modules. Because if you don't understand the relationship between what's going on below and what's transpiring on the chart, you're going to miss out on this bigger picture here, okay? If we fail through this area, particularly if we take out these two lows right here, this would be the bigger picture pushed lower. And I know that because Hawkeye taught me how to interpret this. And it will teach you how to do the same. It'll teach you to understand what actual buying and selling is transpiring inside of these candles. Notice the white candles. Why are they white, right, instead of red or green? Well, because there is a fairly balanced or lack thereof one party outbidding aggressively the other party. So that is a sign of weakness coming into these highs. All right, we had a sign of weakness as we tried to push higher. In fact, the seller stepped in aggressively. We had a two balanced sessions here. Then we get a strong push up, we get strong push back. But for me, the ability to interpret both topping and bottoming patterns proved to be extraordinarily valuable, whether you're trading on a daily chart or a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart. That is irrelevant. The interaction between volume and price action is always relevant. So I encourage you, as a existing trader, a new trader, an experienced trader, as you continue to grow through your journey, like I have and continue to do with each passing day, focus in on volume and price action. The less noise that you have on your chart will give you greater clarity to where support and resistance or supply and demand exist, and with great accuracy, be able to understand the relationship between both volume and price action. Guys, I hope you found this video informational. If you'd like to learn more about Hawkeye Tools, there are some links below. I encourage you to click on them, register for a training event where I will go much deeper, in depth about this relationship, very specifically between buyers and sellers, so that you have the opportunity to learn and grow throughout your journey, as I have and continue to do with each passing day. God bless, and I will see you in the next video.